my way over into the sunlight here without looking directly into the sun.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sampha has always been an artist who, despite his reserved demeanor, crafts emotionally rich landscapes influenced by profound family and personal experiences. What truly distinguishes Sampha is not just his musical prowess, but the bravery and honesty in his compositions. Embracing vulnerability, Sampha selflessly invites us into the depths of his personal and challenging experiences.
I'm made out of plastic out here. You touched down in the base of my fears. Houston, can you hear? And we both had to harness our pain.
As we unravel the layers of Sampha's artistry, we'll get into the roots of its inspiration and the intricate pathways he navigates in the vast musical landscape.
Up and away.
But as we embark on this exploration, a lingering question emerges. What lies ahead for this ever-evolving artist? Who is Sampha? Let's find out as we dive in and explore the mind that is Sampha.
Apollo 11, this is the launch operations manager. The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed. Thank you very much. No, it'll be a good one.
Sampha Lahai Sise was born on November 16, 1988 in Morden, South London. His parents, Joe and Binti, originally from Sierra Leone, moved to the United Kingdom in the 1980s and had 5 children, of which Sampha was the youngest of. Growing up in a large and supportive atmosphere, Sampha has always been more of a reserved and a quiet person. In an interview with ID Vice, he says, "You know, as a child I looked very looked after. My mother was quite a quiet person too. I hate the word traditional, but she definitely cared a lot about me. She made sure I was well fed and went to school. All the things that I appreciate more now." Sampha was first exposed to his love for music when he learned how to play piano in his family's home growing up. This piano that he learned to play on wouldn't only lay the foundation for his distinctive sound, but it also served to eventually become more of an unexpected large part of his life and his music career.
When you first got started, really playing and making your own music, was that something that kind of developed out of the fact that you'd had, training in playing music, or there was music that you were listening to that was really inspiring you to make music at that time?
When I was younger, basically when I was about 3, we had some neighbours moving out next door, some old neighbours, and they were selling a piano quite cheaply, which my dad bought for like £200 or £300 or something like that. I'd been sort of banging on that for since I was young, so I'd just always been sort of writing music for a long time, and I didn't take like my music lessons and stuff so seriously. I mean, I did it like a couple of grades. I think I got to like grade 5 on the piano or something. I've also got 4 older brothers who are very influential in my sort of musical upbringing, I guess.
Being the youngest of 5 brothers, he would often absorb music influences from his older siblings. In an interview with Vulture magazine, he says, "I listened to the song Perfect Love by Todd Edwards on loop because of them. I go around my brother Sandy's place and he just have like a DX7 in the cupboard. He'd be playing Brazilian music or punk or The Strokes or Wu-Tang." The father, being engulfed in music, passed his love for music on to a young Sampha as well, buying him a new CD every week on his way home from work. One week it would be Pavarotti, then it would be Spice Girls the next week. One of those weeks in particular, his dad brought him Wartan by Umaru Sangari. I hope I'm not butchering that. She's a Malayan singer who would eventually become a big influence on how Sampha will make his music later in his life. In an interview with The Guardian, he speaks on Omao. "I listen to it now and then. It's a big influence on the way I view melodies and scales. That immediacy of melody, those rhythms, and the production really awakened something in me." Unfortunately, at the young age of 9, Sampha's father passed away from lung cancer, but the music his dad exposed him to stuck with Sampha forever. Throughout the years, a young Sampha still listened to music his brothers put him on and started to develop his own taste. Being surrounded by music for so long, Sampha eventually made the switch from just consuming music to now creating it. Around the age of 13, he started learning Cubase, a music production software, and he started producing music for his friends. In the interview with Guardian, Sampha says, "I must have been 13. I started at my brother's because he had Cubase. then eventually went into Reason. I had friends around the area who were MCs and I tried to produce for them, but they wouldn't take the beats. It was a struggle. Sampha carried this found passion for music during school while he attended Ewell Castle School for a number of years. There he studied A-level music, was part of the jazz band, and even was captain of music. Now, if you're like me, and by that I mean you're American, there's probably a good chance you're wondering what A-level classes are. According to ACS International Schools, A-level, short for advanced levels, are UK national curriculum school leaving qualifications that are taken by most kids in the UK. Years later, after graduating from Ewell Castle, Sampha would come back and open up a music studio for that very same school. After graduating in 2007, Sampha would meet Quest, a London producer, through MySpace. Sampha says that Quest's music changed his life. He would also attend Chester University to study music production. But his attendance at the school was brief because he found the courses to be limiting. In an interview with ID Vice, he says, "I just don't work well when they say I have to write in a certain way. I also think it was where I was. I don't think I was surrounded by like-minded people." Instead, Sampha would return back to London, where Quest from MySpace would go on to introduce him to musicians like Mika Levi, Ghost Poet, and Dells, as well as a music label to work under, named Young. These introductions opened up a whole new world for Sampha. Joining the record label Young in 2009 to work as an intern making tea and sending mail, Sampha would give minor suggestions to artists during their studio time that would usually end up to be great advice. It was through this label that Sampha was introduced to artists like Subtract, Jesse Ware, Bullion, and Lil Silva, who were going to be some of his earliest collaborators.
It wasn't the thing I sort of pushed. I sort of just loved producing. I was just like a beat maker. I just like making, I wouldn't say weird beats, but my own, whatever. Love making music. And on my MySpace originally, I only had like one song with like sort of snippet of some vocals.
That's so crazy to me because I think you have such an insane voice that you weren't even going to do that.
Eventually, Sampha reluctantly admitted that he sung a little bit, and once the record label heard what he could do, his journey to creating his first album was underway. Sampha simply couldn't run away from his calling as an artist and a musician, even if he wanted to. From being completely engulfed in music as a child, to growing up studying music, to ending up working in a record label that would go on to sign him, it seems that this career was destined for him.
The tanks in the second and third stages now have pressurized. We continue to build up pressure in all three stages here at the last minute to prepare it for liftoff. T-minus 1 minute, 35 seconds.
It's 2010, and at 22 years old, Sampha just released his first EP, Sandaza. This short project was composed of just 6 tracks. The tracks are full of these techno-sounding spacey productions that Sampha has created over the years. A lot of the tracks sound like they belong in an 8-bit video game, which is really cool to me. There isn't a lot of vocals in the EP, with the exception of the sparse backing vocals or random lyrics here or there. Although Sampha still seemed to be shy about his voice, he definitely flexed his production skills, and he proved that there was some untapped potential in him. One of the people who saw the potential in Sampha early on was Aaron Jerome, or better known as Subtract. At the time, Subtract was working on his album called Subtract, and he invited Sampha to work with him as a collaborator for the electronic sound project. Sampha agreed and ended up providing vocals for 5 out of the 13 tracks for the album, and he wrote the lyrics for the song Hold On. Although the album was generally regarded as electronic, Sampha and his contributions stood out like a sore thumb, bringing on a soul vibe to the project that was arguably a major reason for why the project stood out against other electronic albums. Getting more comfortable with singing, it's here where we see the early stages of Sampha developing his signature sound that he would become known for. Ironically, the hook of the song Hold On that he wrote, he sings, "Why Don't You Let Me Sing?" In hindsight, it looks as though he was talking to himself when he said that. Releasing June 27, 2011, the album ended up being very successful and even was featured on Pitchfork's Top 50 Albums of 2011, ranking at 42. With the success of the project, Sampha joined Subtract on tour, and Sampha got more of a feel for singing in front of live audiences. In 2013, Sampha released his next EP, Duel. Here we see Sampha's musical evolution more. While still technically in the electronic genre, Sampha again really made his own with his unique sound, and he really separated himself from the rest in the genre, making it harder and harder to ignore him. I mean, the EP sounds absolutely heavenly. Just listen to the song Can't Get Close. The hesitation of holding back his vocals was completely gone, and you hear a lot more uses of the piano on this project, like on the song Indecision. Side note, this song sounds beautiful, sampled on Lil Wayne's track, Let It All Work Out. Although Lil Wayne sampled that song much later in 2018, Sampha's vocals silently started to take over in 2013. After the release of the EP, Sampha got into the same rooms of rising star Drake and started working with him. In an interview with Guardian, Sampha speaks on how Drake inspired him to be more brave with his music when he says, "He was talking about something extremely personal, and I was like, wow, when it's real and it's raw, it's not even like pleasurable. For me, when I'm writing something really personal, I don't feel good about it. It's weird that people can connect to it and like something that came from a really crap place. You have to be quite brave to write about something that you honestly feel and think." Sampha and Drake went on to collaborate on the song Too Much. And it didn't stop there. According to Vulture magazine, Sampha was surprised in 2013 when a bit of music that Sampha and Drake worked on surfaced on Beyonce's song Mine. Sampha's name was becoming associated with some of the biggest names in the music industry like Kanye West, Solange, and Frank Ocean. Everything seemed to be lining up perfectly for the soulful artist. He was touring, traveling the world, improving his music, working on finishing his debut album Process. But then, he got a call that would change his life. In 2014, Sampha received the devastating news that his mother was battling cancer. In that moment, the entire world seemed to blur as he made the decision to abandon his globe-trotting adventures and rush back to the very essence of his existence: his family. Every tick of the clock echoed with his mother's pain, and with those hours, Sampha would take care of her around the clock. He devoted himself wholeheartedly, tending to her needs day and night, with music becoming his refuge only in those fleeting moments when her pain subsided. In the hushed moments of solitude, he would steal away to the piano, finding solace in the melodies that resonated within the walls of her home. This was a time when love became his song and dedication became his melody. This became a time that was a testament to the profound strength of a son who transformed his pain into hauntingly beautiful music.
You will show me I had something. Some people call it so.
In September of 2015, Sampha's mother, Binti Sase, lost her fight with cancer. After her death, Sampha traveled to his mother's home country, Sierra Leone, to bury her, before retreating to a remote Norwegian island to finish the rest of his album.
Minus
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
so now you're working on your solo album?
Yeah, I finished my first record.
You finished it?
Yeah, it's done.
Or is that? It's not out yet, right?
No, it's not. It's not out. Sorry, I'm like, yeah.
I didn't think it was out, but the way you answered,
Yeah.
it sounded like you just put it out.
Nah.
And are we gonna get it anytime soon?
Oh yeah, it's coming this year at some point.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what would you say? How would you describe it?
In 2016, Sampha would work with artists like Frank Ocean, Solange, and Kanye West, all of which helped him get in the right mind space to finish that album the way that it was supposed to be. Working with Kanye West on his song St. Pablo and observing the pure confidence Kanye had in his work rubbed off on Sampha. Initially writing 40 songs over the course of 2 years, Sampha described it as like chipping away at an ice block to get to what would be his 10-track debut album. Sampha would work with Solange on her track Don't Touch My Hair.
Solange I actually started working with her in like 2013, so quite a while ago. And yeah, had such a great time out. And I mean, I went to Ghana with her and New Orleans and Staten Island. And yeah, looking back, it was a really fulfilling experience, I think. Kind of like very fond memories or like nostalgic feeling. It was a good vibe. And she was really cool to work with, and yeah, kind of became friends.
On a personal note, can I ask you, in the video for Don't Touch My Hair,
Yeah.
what is that jacket you're wearing?
You know what? It's a Givenchy Margiela. No, it's a duvet.
It is a duvet! Because I was in the lounge room the other day with the duvet on, dancing to it, and my girlfriend was like, "You look like an idiot." And I'm like, "I'll tell you, it's a duvet. It's a duvet."
Working with Frank Ocean, Sampha provided vocals for the song Alabama along with Jasmine Sullivan, which ended up on Frank's album Endless. Working with these heavy-hitting superstar artists not only served to help Sampha sharpen his sword creatively, but he also learned to hone in his process that he goes through internally when it comes to creating his own work.
Piano for a long time with projections on the wall or whatever, and kind of a dark space, very moody.
Projections on the wall?
Yeah, just like playing piano with watching some random stuff like waves crashing or like Ghost in the Shell or just some things like some weird movie or whatever, and I just sit there for a long time and kind of just sing and write and listen back to it, and then sort of hear there's a song 45 minutes in. Some of the tunes I did sort of write at home and I'll bring them in and sort of like work on them. But
That's really interesting to say that you just sit there in front of a big screen playing images.
Yeah, I guess I do. I mean, some things I do sometimes. I might just go onto YouTube and mute whatever I'm watching and just write to kind of visual things. And I guess it's kind of the way I write as well. Is that I kind of write is quite visually.
What would you say? How would you describe it?
For me, it's just when I listen to it, it's kind of like just a document of sort of the 2 years I've had in my life, sort of the ups and sort of valleys and peaks, really, and just sort of for me, I feel there's a lot of growing pains. That's what my album is about, and sort of dealing with love and loss and stuff like that.
What's it called?
It's called Process.
On February 3rd, 2017, Sampha would finally release his first studio album, Process, after 4 years of highs and lows. The album marked a significant milestone in Sampha's career. With the release of Process, he managed to showcase his exceptional talent as a singer, songwriter, and producer. Throughout the album, Sampha explores themes of love, loss, and self-discovery. His deeply personal lyrics and raw, heartfelt delivery resonated with listeners, creating a powerful connection between the artist and his audience. Standout tracks like Blood on Me, Plastic 100C, and No One Knows Me Like the Piano all showcase his truly unique blend of electronic R&B and soul influences. Plastic 100C is the first track of that album and starts with a quote from Neil Armstrong.
I'll work my way over into the sunlight here without looking directly into the sun.
Starting with this quote and atmosphere of the song, it gives the album this astronomical feel. It feels like we're about to embark on some journey, a journey of a lifetime. In the chorus of the song, he sings,
It's so hot, I've been melting out here. I'm made out of plastic out here. You touched down in the base of my fears.
These lines, paired with Neil Armstrong's quote, makes it evident that Sampha believes he's dared too much. It feels like he's flown too close to the sun. In the story of Icarus, the narrative unfolds with a labyrinthian maze. Icarus finds himself entangled in this dense, complex puzzle, but manages to escape thanks to wings meticulously crafted by his father. Yet, a crucial warning accompanies his newfound freedom. Flying too high risks the heat of the sun, which could melt the delicate wax holding his wings together. But Icarus, caught up in the hype of his ability to fly, ends up flying too close to the sun, which melts the wax, causing him to plunge to his death. Sampha feels like he is at the height of his career, and just like Icarus, he's beginning to feel the heat or the pressure of the sun or the music industry. He's not made out of wax, he's made out of plastic.
I'm made out of plastic out here. You touched down in the base of my fears. Houston, can you hear me now?
Houston, can you hear me? Sampha, dealing with the adversities of losing his parents due to cancer and becoming distant with his brother, gives him a feeling of detachment from Earth itself. So he calls back to Earth to see if anyone is there to hear them. Towards the end of the song, Sampha begins to shine an even brighter light on the shadows of his life, in the way he personifies them when he says,
If you don't like what you see, silhouettes inside a dream.
With this, he alludes to the next song on the album, Blood on Me, which depicts Sampha running from his inner demons that live inside him but haunts him in his dreams. But we'll get to that song in a second. The conclusion of this reality-shattering song confirms that Sampha's fears in the beginning of the track unfortunately came to fruition. He feels that maybe he's taken on too much as a person and as an artist. Now his wax wings are melting. The plastic that constructed him sits mere miles away from our molten hot sun. The second track on the album and the lead single, Blood on Me, acts as this anxiety-inducing chase. The otherworldly ballad draws a lot of eerie parallels to the disorienting reality of sleep paralysis. In the first lines we hear,
Gray hoodies, they cover their heads. I can't see their faces, can't see.
Immediately, we're met with a strong feeling of paranoia. Sampha has a feeling that someone or something is out to get him, but doesn't exactly know who or why. The rest of the first verse depicts Sampha running away from what is chasing after him. In the music video for the song, this is illustrated by hounds, but in the last lines of the verse, we hear,
I know you lose my grip, but you held on to me, and you shake me, till me that I was able to swear they smell the blood on me.
The writing is not like kind of sensical. It's more so how I kind of see it, like almost like I guess I write things like a movie scene or something. You know, like I kind of see what the camera angle and and someone sort of shaking me out of bed, and I don't know, like a bird's eye view of my bed. So there is that thing of someone there being there to like save you from yourself or whatever, or to like wake you up out of the dream. But then I guess it's just you never really know where. It's like a dog like chasing his tail. You never really know where it ends.
These lines confirm that it was all just a bad dream that he had, but in the course of the song, Sampha still feels like there's something chasing after him, even after waking up, blurring the lines between the dream world that he's created and the reality of his everyday life. These lines get even more blurred after the chorus when he says,
I'll wake up and the sky's blood red, still heavy breathing, feel so much more than dreaming.
Chronologically, these lines, they don't make any sense. How can you wake up when you've just been woken up out of a dream? These lines further make us question which world is real and which world is the dream. The second verse describes another chase that Sampha goes through, and if I'm being honest, personally this song feels like an audible version of The Bear on HBO.
This shit.
Yo, come on, what are you tripping for?
Come
the
on,
cakes are
what
in
the
the
fuck
oven.
am I tripping
If
for?
I put
Are
them
you
to the dust,
here right
it doesn't
now?
make a difference.
There's 4 cakes and still
Yeah, I was going to cut them.
They're not even cut yet?
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
I'm doing them in 5, basically. I'm gonna order them in 5.
Everything, fire everything right fucking now.
Okay, I'll fire everything now. I just was finishing talking to Marcus and
Step out.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to Marcus.
Get the fuck off my expo set now! Get the fuck off! Thank you! We're firing 76 beefs, 34 chickens, okay? 12 french fries, 12 mash fucking now.
I know The Bear came out long after this song, but it just gives me the same feeling of watching a chaotic event go down, and I feel like I can't move or breathe until it's all over. At the end of the music video, Blood on Me, the hounds that were chasing him actually weren't going after him after all, but instead they were going after a slab of meat in front of him. This is arguably Sampha's most raw and vulnerable song on the album. It's a ballad dedicated to his mother Binti Sisay, who passed away in the year prior to the release of his album. It was also the last song Sampha played for his mother. This song has an undeniable sense of longing attached to it. Here he longs for the familiarity of his childhood home in London. He longs for his family dynamic he grew up with. He longs for closure.
No one knows me like the piano in my mother's home.
When Sampha moved back to his childhood home to take care of his mother, the piano became his place of escape from the difficult reality that he was presented with, even if it was only for a couple of minutes.
You would show me I had something some people call a soul.
If Sampha forgot who he was, the piano was his reminder. The piano was his anchor to his authentic self, and it was here where he could keep his passion and his soul alive in such dark times.
You dropped out the sky, oh you arrived when I was 3 years old.
This was the very same piano that was purchased by his father when he was only 3 years old. This piano is the piano where Sampha realized his love and his passion for music. It's where he made his mistakes, and it's where he created his works of art. Almost personifying the piano, Sampha is saying that this specific piano has seen him at the highest highs, and it's seen him at his lowest lows in his life. The song is a sweet and somber tale of not only how it kept Sampha alive, but how it kept his mother alive until the very end. I purposely didn't go too in depth into an album analysis because it's not the point of the video. Also, if you haven't heard the project before, I feel that it's best to go into it blind. If you want me to do an album analysis on Process, just let me know in the comments below. Process served to be a significant part of Sampha's journey as an artist and helped him express his own internal emotions, and whether he knew it or not, Sampha created a safe haven of audio for others in similar predicaments. Sampha's debut album was nothing but an authentic, intimate 10-track piece that engulfs you in this hauntingly beautiful world that's Sampha's mind. If his soulful vocals and surreal storytelling doesn't capture you, then the breathtaking sonics will. You go into this album curious, and 40 minutes later you come out on the other side of this immersive project simply wanting more.
And in my chest, you know me best, and you know I'll be back.
Sampha is a UK singer-songwriter who I have been waiting. I've been waiting for him to release a full-length commercial album for a while, really since the release of Subtract's self-titled 2011 album, where he stole the show on numerous tracks.
Stunning, man. Stunning track. Caught me by surprise. Caught me by surprise. Listen, I mean, it just hit me, the fucking first line of it.
This album lived up to any of the expectations that I had for it. Like, personally, I feel like this album was beautifully executed.
Blood on Me is an insane song. I think it's perfect.
This project is very reintroducing in a way. It's almost like with this project, Sampha is finding himself again. And I feel like I'm being reintroduced to him by listening to this project, as if this is somebody I haven't heard before.
Sampha has kind of been there all along, but he's kind of been just like a feature kind of person. And this album definitely proves that he could stand on his own.
In my mother's home.
English music is at the best it's ever been, ever. Mercury Prize has been going since 1992, and that's an amazing array of artists that have come from England. We're here in 2017. And the winner of the 2017 Hyundai Mercury Prize is Sampha.
and you know I'll be back home.
Make some noise for Sampha, ladies and gentlemen. The process.
I feel like I'm dreaming a little bit. This is incredible. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the judges for thinking that my album was good enough for this. But I didn't write anything. But anyway, I'd just like to say I'd like to dedicate this award to my parents, with whom, they came over from Sierra Leone, and they just want to give us the best upbringing possible. I'd like to thank all my brothers, Ernest, Sani, John, and Junior, for always giving me encouragement and making me believe in myself. I want to thank Jojo for putting up with all my chat about synths and kick drums or whatever, and for all the love that you show me. I want to thank everyone at Young Turks, everyone at Excel, everyone at Beggars. I want to thank Tick. I want to thank Katie. I want to thank Caius. I want to thank everyone, and I'm so thankful for this. Thank you so much. This is absolutely incredible. Thank you. I can't believe it. Thank you so much.
The moon was waiting aboard the recovery carrier to welcome the returning voyagers.
How did it feel to be there as a winner?
It felt amazing, yeah. It felt real. The Americas is something I've watched for years and years, and there's so many artists that I've respected who I didn't have been nominated, so yeah, it felt kind of unreal to win the show.
After the release of Sampha's album Process, he cemented himself as an artist who was just simply a cut above. Sampha's managed to literally push the boundaries of R&B and electronic music within the short span of only 4 years, with projects Subtract, Duel, and Process. Besides the birth of musical success, Sampha welcomed the birth of his daughter in 2020. In an interview with Vulture magazine, he says, "It was intense but also quite focusing. Fatherhood melted old fears while minting new ones. The hurt and anxiety shifts a little bit from being worried about your own point of view to how many years am I going to be around. I want to help her survive through life." As Sampha released his next album, Lahai, in October of 2023, his transformational journey of fatherhood has without a doubt weaved its way into his music. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a deep dive on that album. Much like the evolution evident in his previous works, this new chapter promises a profound exploration of life's complexities. Rather than creating from the pain of loss and loneliness, his next album, Lahai, is born from the joys of welcoming his daughter into his life. With the depth of his experiences and wisdom gained from fatherhood, Sampha's album is truly a testament to resilience, love, and the profound beauty found in embracing life's multifaceted seasons. In all of our lives, we go through these seasons of winter, a dark, cold, gloomy period where everything feels to be going to shit. Everything feels like shit. Everything even smells like shit. One of my favorite lines from Sampha's album, Lahai, is, "Seasons come, seasons cry, seasons grow, and seasons die." In Sampha's journey, we find more than just music. We find a roadmap for navigating our own winters as the dark and frigid seasons creep into our lives. His story speaks on the resilience and warmth of a fire that lives deep within all of us, reminding us that our vulnerabilities can really be a source of strength. Just as Sampha transformed his pain into art, we too can channel our challenges, whatever they may be, into something beautiful. We too can withstand the darkest winters and enjoy the exciting beginnings of spring. We too can find our process. Thank you so much to the Patreon members who are supporting my channel. You guys are really helping me realize my dreams of creating videos just like this one full time. And if you want to join a Patreon to get my videos ad-free and earlier than I put them on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to join for only $3 or 75 cents a week. It's an easy way to help support me as an artist and a filmmaker. Special shout out to Rhythmic Reason in the Sampha Discord. This server helped me out so much while doing research for this video. Also, you can check out our Discord if you haven't. It's linked in the description. We're active there every single day with conversation and daily activities. See you guys next time.